food. This is called in food not knowing the right arpunt. Therein what is unmindfulness? That which is absence of mindfulness. Absence of constant mindfulness, absence of recollection, absence of mindfulness, absence of act of remembering, absence of bearing in mind, superficiality, forgetfulness. This is called unmindfulness. Therein what is absence of awareness? That which is absence of knowledge, absence of vision, barrier of ignorance, the bad root of dullness. This is called absence of awareness. Therein what is moral failure? That which is bodily transgression, verbal transgression, both bodily and verbal transgression. This is called moral failure. Also all wrong morality is moral failure. Therein what is faulty view? There is no almsgiving. There is no sacrifice, those who themselves having fully known, having realized this world and the next world make it known. That which is similar, wrong view, resorting to wrong view, inverted grip. This is called faulty view. Also all false view is faulty view. Therein what are internal fetters? 5 fetters belonging to low existence are internal fetters. 5 fetters belonging to high existence are external fetters. Twofold. Threefold exposition. Therein what are the 3 bad roots? Greed, hatred, dullness. Therein what is greed? That which is lusting. Infatuation. Seduction. Compliance. Passion. Passionate lust. Infatuation of consciousness. Wishing. Yearning. Clinging. Greediness. Omnivorous greediness. Cleaving. Slough. Allurement. Deceit. Gene tricks. Fettering gene tricks. Sempstress. Ensnarer. River. Extending. Line. Spreading. Urger. Consort. Hankering. Guide to becoming. Forest. Jungle. Intimacy. Fondness. Considerateness. Kin. Want. Wanting. State of wanting. Wanting visible. Wanting audible. Wanting odorous. Wanting sapid. Wanting tangible. Wanting gains. Wanting wealth. Wanting sons. Wanting life. Muttering. Excessive muttering. Act of muttering, state of muttering, self-indulgence, being self-indulgent, state of being self-indulgent, agitation, desire for the nicer, incestuous lust, lawless greed, longing, act of longing. Entreating. Liking. Imploring. Craving for sense pleasure. Craving for becoming. Craving for non-becoming. Craving for form. Craving for the formless. Craving for cessation. Craving for visible. Craving for audible. Craving for odorous. Craving for sapid. Craving for tangible. Craving for ideational. Flood. Bond. Tie. Attachment. Obstruction. Hindrance. Covering. Bondage. Depravity. Latent tendency. Usurping. Creeper. Avarice. Root of suffering. Source of suffering, origin of suffering, Mara's snare, Mara's fishhook, Mara's domain, river of craving, net of craving, leash of craving, ocean of craving, covetousness, the bad root of greed. This is called greed. Craving for visible omitted in the text. Therein what is hatred? He has done me harm, thus vexation arises. He is doing me harm, thus vexation arises. He will do me harm, thus vexation arises. He has done harm to one dear and pleasant to me, he is doing harm, p. He will do harm, thus vexation arises. He has done good to one not dear and not pleasant to me, he is doing good, he will do good, thus vexation arises. or vexation arises unreasonably. That which is similar. Vexation of consciousness. Resentment. Repulsion. Hostility. Irritation. Exasperation. Incensement. Hatred. Antipathy. Abhorrence. Mental disorder. Detestation. Anger, being angry, state of being angry, hatred, being hateful, state of being hateful, disorder, disorderly, antagonism, hostility, ferocity, abruptness, absence of delight of consciousness. This is called hatred. P equals complete appropriately. Therein what is dullness? Absence of knowledge of suffering. Absence of knowledge of the cause of suffering. Absence of knowledge of the cessation of suffering. Absence of knowledge of the way leading to the cessation of suffering. Absence of knowledge of the ultimate beginning. Absence of knowledge of the ultimate end. Absence of knowledge of both the ultimate beginning and the ultimate end. Absence of knowledge of specific causality and dependently originated states. That which is similar, absence of knowledge, absence of vision, barrier of ignorance, the bad root of dullness. This is called dullness. These are the three bad roots. Therein what are three bad thinking? Thinking desire, thinking ill will, thinking cruelty. Therein what is thinking desire? Mentation, thinking, wrong thought associated with desire. This is called thinking desire. Therein what is thinking ill will? Mentation, thinking, wrong thought associated with ill will. This is called thinking ill will. Therein what is thinking cruelty? Mentation, thinking, wrong thought associated with cruelty. This is called thinking cruelty. These are three bad thinking. Therein what are three bad perception? Perception desire, perception ill will, perception cruelty. Therein what is perception desire? Perception, act of perceiving, state of perceiving associated with desire. This is called perception desire. Therein what is perception ill will? Perception, act of perceiving, state of perceiving associated with ill will. This is called perception ill will. Therein what is perception cruelty? Perception, act of perceiving, state of perceiving associated with cruelty. This is called perception cruelty. These are three bad perception. Therein what are three bad elements? The element of desire, element of ill will, element of cruelty. Therein what is the element of desire? Thinking desire is the element of desire. Thinking ill will is the element of ill will. Thinking cruelty is the element of cruelty. Therein what is thinking desire? Mentation, thinking, wrong thought associated with desire. This is called thinking desire. Therein what is thinking ill will? Mentation, thinking, wrong thought associated with ill will. This is called thinking ill will. Therein what is thinking cruelty? Mentation, thinking, wrong thought associated with cruelty. This is called thinking cruelty. These are three bad elements. Therein what are three wrong action? Wrong bodily action, wrong verbal action, wrong mental action. Therein what is wrong bodily action? Killing beings, taking that which is not given, sexual misconduct. This is called wrong bodily action. Therein what is wrong verbal action? False speech, slandering speech, harsh speech, frivolous speech. This is called wrong verbal action. Therein what is wrong mental action? Covetousness, ill will, false view. This is called wrong mental action. Therein what is wrong bodily action? Bad bodily action is wrong bodily action. Bad verbal action is wrong verbal action. Bad mental action is wrong mental action. Therein what is bad bodily action? Bad bodily volition is bad bodily action. Bad verbal volition is bad verbal action. Bad mental volition is bad mental action. These are three wrong action. Therein what are three defilements? The defilement of desire, the defilement of becoming, the defilement of ignorance. Therein what is the defilement of desire? That which in connection with desire is wish for sense pleasure. Lust for sense pleasure, passion for sense pleasure, craving for sense pleasure, fondness for sense pleasure, fevering for sense pleasure, yearning for sense pleasure, clinging to sense pleasure. This is called the defilement of desire. Therein what is the defilement of becoming? That which in connection with becoming is wish for becoming, clinging to becoming. This is called the defilement of becoming. IP. Therein what is the defilement of ignorance? Absence of knowledge of suffering, barrier of ignorance, the bad root of dullness. This is called the defilement of ignorance. These are three defilements. Therein what are three fetters? Individuality view, doubt, adherence to habits and practices. Therein what is individuality view? Herein the unlearned worldling who does not recognize the noble ones, is not versed in the teaching of the noble ones, is not disciplined in the teaching of the noble ones. Does not recognize good men, is not versed in the teaching of good men, is not disciplined in the teaching of good men. Regards material qualities as the soul. Or the soul as having material qualities. Or material qualities in the soul. Or the soul and material qualities. Feeling. Exerception. Mental concomitants. Regards consciousness as the soul. Or the soul as having consciousness. Or consciousness in the soul. Or the soul in consciousness. That which is similar, wrong view, resorting to wrong view, inverted grip. This is called individuality view. P equals complete each in general form of final example. Therein what is doubt? One is puzzled, doubts in the teacher. One is puzzled, doubts in the teaching. One is puzzled, doubts in the order. One is puzzled, doubts in the precepts. One is puzzled, doubts in the ultimate beginning. One is puzzled, doubts in the ultimate end. One is puzzled, doubts in both the ultimate beginning and the ultimate end. One is puzzled, doubts in specific causality and dependently originated states. That which is similar, puzzlement, being puzzled, state of being puzzled, rigidity of consciousness, mental scarifiing. This is called doubt. Therein what is adherence to habits and practices? The purification by means of habit, purification by means of practice, purification by means of both habit and practice of recluses and Brahmins outside this. That which is similar, wrong view, resorting to wrong view, inverted grip. This is called adherence to habits and practices. These are three fetters. Therein what are three craving? Craving for sense pleasure, craving for becoming, craving for non-becoming. Therein what is craving for becoming? Lusting, infatuation. Infatuation of consciousness accompanied by becoming view. This is called craving for becoming. Therein what is craving for non-becoming? Lusting, infatuation, infatuation of consciousness accompanied by annihilation-istic view. This is called craving for non-becoming. The remaining craving is craving for sense pleasure. Therein what is craving for sense pleasure? Lusting, infatuation, infatuation of consciousness associated with the element of desire. This is called craving for sense pleasure. Lusting, infatuation, infatuation of consciousness associated with the element of form and the formless element. This is called craving for becoming. Some texts include, therein what is craving for becoming? Lusting, infatuation, infatuation of consciousness accompanied by annihilation-istic view. This is called craving for non-becoming. These are three craving. Some texts include, therein what is craving for non-becoming? Therein what are another three craving? Craving for sense pleasure, craving for form, craving for the formless. Therein what is craving for sense pleasure? Lusting, infatuation, infatuation of consciousness associated with the element of desire. This is called craving for sense pleasure.